What's up, my fellow MPC heads? My name's Stu here at Create, Educate, and Inspire, and for the last month, I've had the luxury and pleasure of having my hands on the MPC Key 61. Now, I have to admit, it has now become my go-to device for creativity, and all my other MPCs are kind of sitting on the shelf collecting dust. So whether you're a musician, a beat maker, or a keyboard player, in this video we're going to go over my 5 top favorite features, tricks, and tips relating to the MPC Key 61. And Akai, if you're listening, at the end there's 2 little requests I'm hoping you can sprinkle into the recipe next time you're cooking up a little software update for the MPC Key and pretty much any other MPC. So the first feature I'd like to talk about is the ability to have pads and keys separately. What I mean by that is we can take the pads and turn them into a pad performer mode, allowing us to play chords on the pads while we play melodies on our right hand on the keys themselves. Now, my second favorite feature on the MPC Key 61 is the touch strip, especially the touch effects. Now, to change a touch effect, just simply double tap on touch effect and you'll go into the configure mode. At the bottom, you have setup, and now we can change what touch effect is assigned to the touch strip. However, right off the bat, some of these effects sound a little effecty, such as the tape stop, for example. When you hit the tape stop, the original sound completely cuts off and you just hear kind of a tape stop. But if you dive into the actual parameters of each one of these touch effects, you can start getting some really cool sound design elements, such as inside of the tape stop effect. If we take the wet and dry and just dial it around to 15, it becomes then a really cool layer underneath and behind the original chord that we're playing. The third favorite part of the MPC Key is the fact that the key bed actually has Aftertouch. If you're not familiar with Aftertouch, what that means is that you can assign a parameter to the intensity of how hard you push down the keys after you've originally struck them. So for this, we're going to take a look at this preset called Bending Oscillators. Now you'll notice that when we play a chord, we hear a chord, but then when we push down harder on the key bed, we actually hear the sounds bend. This is because pitch is assigned to the Aftertouch. So if we go into the main screen of Fabric XL and go all the way over to the right, to the very last screen called MIDI settings, here we can see Aftertouch. Now Aftertouch can be assigned to several different parameters, but here we have it assigned to pitch at -5. So when we press down the keys harder after originally playing the chord, that note is going to pitch down 5 semitones. But we can get some additional really cool effects just by adjusting this parameter. So let's take this pitch value and turn it all the way up to an octave. So we're playing our chord, but when we push harder, it's actually going to pitch up a full octave. So we can play a really cool chord progression, but pushing down at the end of every chord to bend in between an entire octave range of notes. So 4 and 5 are less to do with the MPC Key 61 itself and more to do with the new software that's available across all the MPCs. The first one is the instant key group feature. So what that allows you to do is, let's say we have a drum kit here with some sounds, and there's a sound in there that I want to play chromatically up and down the keys. Now by default, it's just a single one-shot sample, but if we go into our program edit and look at the upper bar, there's going to be a little keyboard symbol with a plus sign. What that's going to do is it's automatically going to create a new key group and take that sample and stretch it chromatically across the bed of keys. This is a really cool feature because now we can simply take a one shot and play it chromatically up and down the keyboard or up and down the pads. I'll admit this was one of the biggest features that I missed when I left the Native Instruments machine and went over to the MPC. And now you can do that on the MPC with the automatic key group feature. And number 5 is going to be the locate preset button. With all these new sounds that come on the MPC Key 61, or if you drop that big $500 price tag and got the bundle for your MPC, it can be a little overwhelming with the amount of presets that you're getting. So if you're ever lost and you want to get back to the category of the instrument that you're in, simply hit the locate preset button on the upper part of the main sounds page. And now to wrap up the video, 2 little requests that have already been sent over to Akai, but that is 1, a sound preview for all these new presets. With Fabric XL, the FM Synth, and all these other new plugins, there's a lot of presets. And I'll admit that the load time for some of these presets is a little frustrating to see a status bar in the upper right hand corner and you have to twiddle your thumbs until you get your gratification. So a sound preview of every single one while you're flipping through it, like other programs out there, Complete Control, offer, would be amazing. And just like Complete Control, it would be great if we could search by category instead of by instrument, such as if I want a bass sound, but I don't know what instrument I want to search for that bass sound, I could just search for a bass that's synth, and it would search globally throughout all these new plugins. So those are my 2 gripes and my 2 requests. Let me know in the comments below what you would like to see updated on the MPC Key 61 if you have one already, or just in the MPC software in general. What sort of updates and feature improvements would you like to see? Thank you for sticking around till the end, watching this video in its entirety. I really appreciate it. If you haven't seen any of the masterclass videos, they're going to be up here. Check them out. It's a deep dive into how the whole MPC infrastructure works. And on that note, thanks for your time. Thanks for your attention. Now, I hope you go make something cool.